and welcome to my channel. I'm Jasmine, and today I thought that I would just talk a little bit about why I chose to do a journalism course, why I chose to do a journalism course, and how I got here and how I'm finding it so far, as well as kind of what my thoughts are for careers in the future. Because even though it's probably a bit early for most people to be thinking about university, because we're in October, if you are, then hopefully this will be of some help to you and you'll just find out a bit more about it if you are considering doing journalism as well. So the first thing that I think I'll talk about just briefly is why I chose to go to university in the first place, because it seems like it's such a big decision. There are so many reasons for and against it, and there's no right answer, I don't feel, because university isn't for everyone, and I feel there's a lot of pressure to think that it is. So I changed my mind a lot. There was quite a lot to consider, and I didn't feel like I had enough information about all of the possible options, but university was the main thing pushed forward from secondary school age to A-levels, and from other people who just thought, well, obviously we're going to university, that's what you do when you finish school. I have some notes on my computer, so that's why I'm looking down at them, just in case I forget anything. But it felt like I didn't want to be limited, so I explored other options like apprenticeships and degree apprenticeships as well, but they mainly seemed to be for STEM and business-based subjects, which wasn't really my interest or strengths. So after kind of thinking about it a bit more and realising that I would only be doing an apprenticeship just so that I didn't have to do university, I thought, you know what, maybe I should give uni a go, because it's got a lot of options, a lot of different courses that are of interest to me. So I thought, as well as obviously having a good choice of degree courses, it just felt like not easier, but a better option for me, in the sense of it's a set 3 or 4 years where you'll get a degree at the end of it and you'll have better career options, or so I think anyway. Being a uni student sounded fun, as it does in the films and things like that, so I was looking forward to having those kind of experiences. And a degree sounded impressive, so I thought, okay, I'll look at it a bit more. It was around the middle of year 12 that I started thinking about open days for university, and I visited a few around London and a bit outside London. I think the furthest one I looked at was Cardiff University, which was in year 13, I think I went to visit. So it's quite a long process to decide if you want to go to university, and then to do the application process as well, which I can kind of talk about in a different video maybe, but that's kind of how I decided to go to university. I'm honestly very indecisive, and I have quite a few interests. Most of my interests are creative based. Like I said, business and STEM based, really academic subjects aren't really for me. I've never been particularly good at them, so it didn't make sense for me to want to do a degree for 3 years in something that I'm not very good at and I don't particularly enjoy. I like performing arts and things like music, dance, drama even, but it didn't seem to me that doing a degree in that would work out for me, mainly because I hadn't done it at A-levels, so I didn't want to throw myself in the deep end and really end up struggling. Even though they do sound like fun degrees, I just didn't think that would be for me. So I was wanting to do something more writing based, which could have been English, as I did at A-levels. So my A-levels were English, language and literature combined, sociology and French. French, I was not considering doing that as a degree, just because I didn't do as well as I wanted to at A-levels, and I thought, you know what, I'll just continue French as a hobby rather than a main educational pursuit. And sociology was also a degree option because I do like it, and it is relevant to a lot of everyday life as well. So that was one of my options. I also am interested in law, so I thought, okay, maybe I could do that, but it's very demanding, as I'm sure anyone will know. Law is one of the most demanding courses. So I'm still considering doing it as a master's. Right now in journalism we are doing media law, and even just that, my textbook is right here. It's about 500 pages, and it's a lot. It is a lot. So even reading this is a lot for me on a journalism course. I don't know if I can even fathom how much an actual law degree will be, so we'll see. But it is still in the back of my mind as something that I could be interested in doing. But journalism, it seemed like it was the most specifically writing based, and also I could use my opinion a lot and be more creative than just English, which is a bit more rigid. And I can branch out and go into other routes as well. Obviously with English you can branch out a lot, but journalism, it just felt like something I could be the most expressive in. And I did like the idea of being a news reporter or being like on ITV News at 10 or something like that. Not that I'm still thinking about doing that, but I thought that it was something that I could enjoy doing or could see myself doing. So that was the main thing behind journalism. Also, I did work experience at Penguin Publishing House in about 2018 for a week actually, which I quite enjoyed, and I know that journalism is something that you can branch out in and go into publishing. So that kind of helped me decide to do a degree that could be more orientated to that as well. Yeah, I think that's the main reason that I chose journalism in general. But this course, like journalism, BA journalism at Sheffield University, I chose it because it was number one. It was the number one course on like league tables for journalism, and that's obviously like the best thing that you could do. I knew that Sheffield was a Russell Group university, which I don't think is a big deal whether you go to a Russell Group or not, but apparently it's supposed to have a higher standard. It does have a good standard, I'm not like trying to dismiss that, but apparently it does, so that was kind of something that was leading me towards it as well. The course is NCTJ accredited, which is the National Council for Training of Journalists. I might have said the acronym incorrectly, I'll put it in here if I have. But it's supposed to be like it is the national qualification for journalism, and it's looked at as quite high up and quite impressive if you're trying to get a career or a job in the journalism department, that you have this accreditation. So that was good as well, because not every journalism course offers it. So that was good. And yeah, the things that it said it covers on the course when I was looking at the uni website, it looked quite interesting as well, such as shorthand, which when you're doing it, it is quite a lot. It's the kind of words, the writing system that you use. If I can find it, let me see. I've got some here, some of my work, which was the result of like 8:30 classes every day in first year. So that was fun. Okay, this isn't much, but this is like what it looks like. So it's a way of taking down notes faster, which I thought was quite impressive. And I didn't know if all journalism courses did that either, so I saw that Sheffield did, and that also swayed me towards it because I thought it would be quite cool. And it is. It was just a lot of work to learn and remember. But yeah, so the course entry requirements were ABB, and I got the equivalent of the UCAS points for that, so that's how I managed to get into the course. And it is honestly quite a good course as well. So yeah, that's why I chose it, and yeah, I'm liking it so far. Okay, so what careers am I thinking of going into? So like I said, journalism, it seemed more expressive and like you can branch out a bit more when you're doing it. Once you finish your degree. So the main route is obviously journalism, being a journalist, that's the end goal because of the nature of the degree. So you could go into like broadcast and print journalism, so writing for newspapers, writing news articles. You could go into reporting and newscasting, I think that's correct. So like I said, being on ITV News at 10, or just being on spot locations and being filmed talking to an audience and sharing news, which I thought sounded quite cool. And also magazine, which I've only just started learning, but which I'm really liking, and has kind of made me think, if I do go into pure journalism, I think magazine might be what I'm leaning towards at the moment. There was also publishing, like I said. Did the work experience, which I really liked, and you can go into like editorial and also marketing, so reading books, editing them, writing books yourself, and that sort of thing, and just kind of the process of publishing books, which I really like, and which I'm not really doing a good job of selling at the moment because I don't know enough about it, but what I do know and what I experienced like 2 years ago, I liked. So I've been thinking about that as well. I'm thinking at the moment, because I do blogs, I'm doing YouTube, I could go into continuing blogging but doing it on a more professional level, and writing as well on websites, book writing, and writing magazines and columns and things like that, which sounds kind of quite fun to me because it's not as rigid and strict as writing for newspapers and doing news reporting, which, even though it does sound cool to me, I'd rather be a bit more creative and a bit more biased, like giving my own opinion as well, which blogging and freelancing and other kinds of writing would enable me to do. And the other thing is PR, so public relations, which I don't know a lot about, but I know it kind of involves like managing clients, making them look good, and kind of marketing as well and that sort of thing. I could be wrong, so sorry if I am, but that is another kind of route that's quite popular to go down if you've done a journalism degree. There are probably a lot of other things that I am missing out, because those are just the main things that I've looked at for myself or that I've heard about. But as you can see, they're all kind of more creative and still writing based, but if you don't just want to write reviews for books or analysing plays and poetry like you would in English, I don't want to sound dismissive of that. I don't know what an English degree entails because I haven't done one, and it is still enjoyable, but it just feels like a journalism degree can enable for a more creative side as well. So I'll just briefly say what my course has been like so far. So like I said, I'm in second year now. It's been about a month of second year of my journalism degree, and I've been generally enjoying it. Like, I've learned a lot more about the background of journalism and the amount of thought and effort that goes into producing quality writing and journalistic work as well. Last year, so first year, the average contact hours, I think, were about 7 hours of class time in second year, in second semester. But in first semester, because of the shorthand, which was every day, it was probably closer to like 14 hours. I could be wrong, but it was about that. So a decent amount of contact hours and quite a lot of extra reading that you'll need to do, and research and writing outside of the course, as should be expected. So we learned essential journalism, like how to write news, what news values are, so the things that you need to think about, like entertainment, what is in the interest of the general public, and what things you need to think about to be ethical in writing as well. Then we learned about power and society, which is kind of like government and politics, which you do need to know and I think is relevant outside of journalism as well. But it wasn't the most exciting or interesting when we were doing it at the time. But yeah, that's the main things that I learned in first year, and our assessments were like written exams, standard exams that you kind of can't escape. Also portfolios, so writing your own news stories and going out into the outside world and finding your own stories, and filming as well, which I kind of liked. It was stressful at the time, but at the end of the day, that's what you have to expect on a degree, and it is enjoyable as well. And this year, we're mainly doing media law, or at least in first semester, media law, like I showed you with the textbook, which is a lot, but you need to know it if you want to be a journalist and you want to be ethical and legal when writing. And we're also doing live news production, so looking at feature writing, which is the magazine kind of thing that I've been thinking about and I'm quite enjoying as well. And well, it's radio and video, so broadcasting and things like that, which is kind of the most exciting part of my course so far, or the thing that I've been liking the most. We'll also be doing court reporting next semester, which I'm really looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to like dressing up for court as well. So obviously at the time when it happens, I'll let you know how that is and how I've liked it. But yeah, that's kind of the main things that we've been doing so far. And yeah, I've been liking it. It's a really good course. With COVID and everything, I feel like the journalism department have been quite good on kind of keeping us up to date with things and trying to get the most out of the course, because it's been quite difficult doing things online, but it's been enjoyable. So yeah, so lasting things that I would say is just, there's a lot that goes into choosing a degree and choosing something that's interesting for you, so it's important to do your research, and I'm assuming by watching this video this is part of your research, and hopefully I've helped in some way. I'd love to be able to answer any questions that anyone has in the comments, because there are probably a lot of things that I missed. But that was kind of the main reasons behind me choosing this course, and at this university specifically, what I've kind of gained from the course and what my kind of future career aspirations might be for it. So hopefully if you do choose a journalism course, you choose a good one and you end up enjoying it. If you don't, it's not a problem because there are so many other things that you can end up doing if you drop out or if you change course partway through. It's just a process and it's a completely new chapter of your life. So you want to be able to enjoy it and make the most out of it. So I wish you all the best of luck on deciding what degree you want to do and on pursuing a journalism degree if that's what you want to do. And yeah, if you've got any questions, please let me know. And I hope you liked or enjoyed this video in some way. So thank you and bye. See you in my next video.